How's it going, everybody? Overpoweredyeti here. Today we're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't want to talk about spoilers, but there is going to be spoilers in this to kind of make my point of how I feel about the game. So this is the very first time I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake. I haven't played the original one, so I was coming into this as a new player. Everyone that had all this knowledge about the other game, I did not have. I'm starting fresh. And that being said, me starting fresh is completely different. And even after finishing the game, I just finished it on normal. I haven't gone back on hard and played the game and unlocked all the other stuff. I haven't done that yet. Maybe that'll be in one of my streams later. That being said, I do stream every day from 12 to 6 on Twitch. I'll put the link in the description below, like always. I did play the whole entire game on Twitch. I streamed the whole entire thing. It took me 50 hours on normal to play it and to beat it. Even after finishing it, I still have a lot of questions. About the whole last couple chapters are all new. About, I don't know, some people told me like 80% of the game is brand new that is not in the original game. Maybe sometime I'll go back and actually play the whole thing, or at least the beginning part of the old game, but we'll see what happens. There's so many things that are different in this, and apparently some people that actually play the original game still have questions as well. And the main reason is they stayed with the original content to a point, and then to a certain part they kind of went off. We didn't learn about it until, so this is spoilers, all this is spoilers. We didn't learn until towards the end of the game. I think it was one of the later chapters, like 16 I think it was, with these little mystical things that were flying around and stopping us from doing things. Well, it turns out they're called whispers, and it turns out that what they're doing is they're stopping us from playing the original game. From the storyline and the timeline of the original game, they're making sure that we stick with that we stick with that story, that timeline. And if we go off of that, they try to push us back, or they try to stop us so we don't do something different from the original story. And that concept is pretty cool, but we didn't know until late. I had no idea what was going on, and it was kind of confusing. But when they finally explained what it was, it's like, oh, okay, so what they're trying to do is keep the old game how it was. So that's kind of cool, it's kind of interesting. But last chapter, we kill Fate. We get rid of those whispers. They are no longer there. So you actually see something at the end that makes it completely different from the original. There are people that are alive that were not alive. They are actually in a whole completely different timeline, or it's the same timeline, we don't really know. But what they did is they changed fate, they changed the timeline. So pretty much it gave developers and everything and writers a completely new open slate for the next game that they push out. It's going to be it could be completely different. It could have some parts that are exactly the same. Pretty much they left it open-ended, that we killed Fate. They are not going to be anything that's stopping them from keeping the original storyline. And that's kind of crazy. Even the original people that have played the game, they're like, this is crazy. I've heard other people said they didn't like the ending. There's other people that do like the ending. They're getting, mixed because of it. I like the ending. I thought that was a cool concept. I thought it was kind of thing, but it was so confusing. There's so many things I didn't know that was like jumping in at the very, very end, and they were seeing like their own timelines, or the original timeline. They were getting blasted by Fate, and then they were getting memories, and those memories are from the other games, from Advent Children. There's stuff like that that they were seeing that was the original timeline, that it was the original game or movie, and I didn't know that until I looked it up. To me, it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're getting other visions or something, other stuff, but I had to look it up to actually understand what it was. For the people that actually played the original one, they got a lot more of it than I did, because they actually saw the old stuff. They actually knew the old stuff. For me, it was just images. It was like, oh, okay, that's different. Playing the game was fun. The content was great. All the missions, the story, the visuals, everything in this game was great. Just some things were confusing because I didn't know the lore like other people would have known the lore. But yeah, I still had a lot of questions at the end. So on to the gameplay. I know there's a lot of people that did not like the fact that it wasn't turn-based, but I kind of liked that it was action, but it still had a turn-based element to it. I mean, what you could do is you could set up keys, set up buttons, so you can just push a button really, really quickly instead of hitting X and going into the menu and then pulling up the menu and slowing down time and doing everything there. There was a way to make a quick option, but there was still a way to go into that and still slow things down and kind of bounce between your people and make sure that they, you know, do the things that you wanted to do. So that was kind of cool. I liked the fighting concept. It took a little bit to get used to, but being able to, okay, this is the character I want to be, and then I want to, you know, use this character to fight and then switch between them, or just constantly switching, or however you guys wanted to do it. That's kind of what I did. I took the one character and then kind of did everything else from that menu, or doing quick buttons and stuff like that. So I like weapons, and I like the blueprints in the weapons. I thought that was pretty cool, being able to go into there and pick out which ones you wanted for the weapons. I guess that wasn't in before, but being able to say, hey, I want more attack, I want more HP, and they were all different depending on the weapon. So that was cool. Whenever I got a new weapon, I got to jump in there and, you know, fix the stats and kind of change it to how my playstyle was, or how I wanted the character to be with that weapon. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then adding all the materia to it as well was also fun. Be able to pick out the right one depending on your team, depending on what one you were fighting. So I spent a lot of time in those menus getting them all right. So that was really, really fun, and I enjoyed that. But I also want to get other things and level them all up, because at the end of the game, they weren't all leveled up. I didn't have all of them, I'm sure. And I wanted to have, you know, multiple ones for each character, but I didn't do that. If I do go back, I will definitely be leveling all those up and getting all the new ones. And if you go into hard, I think it levels up faster. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that it levels up faster when you're in hard mode, so that'll be fun. The characters are great, but then the enemies are also insane, and they're also great. There was one of the battles that I fought a freaking house, an evil devil house that had spells, and it would attack you and it would swallow you up and spit you out. The house was ridiculous, and it was a pain in the ass to beat. It was not easy for me to beat. I had a hard time with it, but it was really fun being able to play against the hell house. But there was a lot of other ones that were really, really fun, but that was the one that sticks in the head like right away. It was that stupid freaking hell house was beating that damn thing. That was a pain in the ass. Edit characters is a big thing for me, is being able to edit them and make them the way that you want, and you had that. It's just finding all the weapons, materials, and the summons and everything, which made it exciting going through everything. Be like, oh, okay, what can I get from this guy now? Does he have something I can get? Oh, he has a new weapon? Sweet, let's put that on and try it out. So it would be fun to go back and replay it and finish it again, get 100% on everything, get all the weapons, level up all my characters and stuff like that. The big question is how are they going to do it when the new one comes out? Is all that stuff going to transfer over, or are you just going to have a normal state of like, okay, here you are, you're level 50 and here's all your stats? Or does all that stuff carry over from there? So is it important for you to go back in hard mode and get all those things before you transfer over? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what they do with that and the new one coming up, because so many things have changed in the storyline of how they're going to do it. And, you know, depending on how the PlayStation 5 comes out, is it going to transfer over? You know, is the game going to be just a DLC? Is it going to be a whole new game? You know, there's still a lot of questions to be had. But one thing to take away from this game was I had a blast. It was really fun. It was a crazy 50 hours of amazing gameplay, amazing cinematics. Definitely a must buy for anyone that loves RPGs and stories and any fans of Final Fantasy. I don't want to jump too much into it or say anything else. I just wanted to say that the storyline was great for a newcomer, for somebody that's new coming into the series. I thought it was great. I had a blast with it. Hope you guys do too, and I'll see you guys in the next one.